Have you ever felt super uncomfortable being the center of attention? Well, today we're going to flip the script on that feeling. What if it's not a sign of weakness at all, but a signal of this really profound and quiet kind of strength? Let's dive in and explore the power of quiet confidence. You know that feeling, right? You're at a party, maybe a meeting at work, or even just a family dinner. Everything's going great, conversation's flowing, and then all of a sudden it happens. The chatter just fades. The laughter stops. And you can literally feel every single pair of eyes in the room lock right onto you. You're supposed to say something, be witty, be brilliant, right on command. And in that moment, for a lot of us, that spotlight feels less like a warm glow and a lot more like a harsh interrogation lamp. Now, the easy label here is, oh, you're just shy. And sure, for some people, an extreme avoidance of attention can be part of social anxiety. But for so many others, that feeling, it's something else entirely. It's actually about where you get your sense of self-worth from. Okay, so let's decode what's really going on under the surface when that spotlight feels so uncomfortable. We're going to dig into the psychology behind this, and I have a feeling the answer is going to surprise you. So what is that internal switch that makes some people just crave attention while others instinctively, pull back? The answer is actually incredibly empowering. That's right. Research into what you might call quiet power shows that this trait isn't a flaw. No. Instead, it's often rooted in a really powerful set of well-developed internal characteristics. Let's break those down. It all starts with this really powerful sense of self-knowledge, or what researchers like to call the clarity within. So, this is the first pillar, self-concept clarity. It basically means your identity isn't changing with every new person you meet or every room you walk into. You've got this strong, stable core. You know your values, you know your beliefs, you know what makes you, well, you. And this just says it all, doesn't it? When you have that kind of internal clarity, you just don't need as much external validation. The world's applause is nice, for sure, but it's not something you need to prove that you exist or have worth. And this flows right into our next point, low social dependency. It means you're not constantly looking over your shoulder for a thumbs up from other people. Your sense of achievement isn't tied to likes or shares or public praise. And that is a huge part of quiet confidence. All of this builds towards something we can think of as a really well-calibrated internal compass. Okay, this one is the big one. It's a concept that was famously explored by the psychologist Carl Rogers. Having an internal locus of evaluation means that at the end of the day, you are the primary judge of your own life. You're the one who decides if you did a good job, if you tried your best, if you acted with integrity. And this right here, this slide, makes the difference so clear. The person with an external locus is constantly outsourcing their self-worth, always asking, what will they think? But the person with an internal locus brings that evaluation back home, asking, am I satisfied? It's a total game changer. So when you put all of these pieces together, that self-concept clarity, the low social dependency, and that internal locus of evaluation, you get something really, really powerful. You get the strength in quiet. And here is the most important point. Avoiding the spotlight isn't necessarily about fear. For so many people, it's about freedom. It's the freedom from feeling like you constantly have to be on, like you have to perform for an audience just to feel like you matter. It's the quiet confidence of just being. So your quiet power is really this potent mix, isn't it? It's about knowing who you are, trusting your own judgment, and looking for real, genuine connection over just the roar of the crowd. It's a confidence that truly doesn't need to be loud. I love this quote. It just perfectly captures the whole idea. Real strength doesn't always have to shout to make itself known. Sometimes, it's the quietest person in the room who actually holds the most conviction. So what? Why is it so important for us to understand this? Well, it's because our culture so often makes the mistake of thinking that loudness equals confidence and that being visible equals being valuable. But that is such a narrow definition of strength. When we recognize this, we can start to appreciate that deep, steady strength of the quiet contributors, the thoughtful observers all around us. It helps us build empathy for others. And maybe even more importantly, if any of this is resonating with you, it gives you permission to own your quiet power. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. In a world that seems to be getting noisier every single day, Maybe the real power isn't in shouting to be heard, but in having a core so strong that you don't need to shout at all.